Hi, I'm Caroline Javi, and I am here with Runaway June, which consists of Naomi, Hannah, and Jennifer. They are the first female group in 10 years since the Dixie Chicks have a top 30 on country radio. Talk to me about that.
Well, it's a little hard to comprehend, really, that there hasn't been a female trio in over a decade to be on the chart. So it's a little surreal, and we're really honored. It's an incredible thing.
Yeah. Why do you think there hasn't been a female trio in over 10 years?
Honestly, I don't know. We've been asked that before, and I feel like there was, I don't know, country radio kind of goes through waves, obviously, where sometimes, like for us growing up in the 90s, it was super female-dominated, and then it kind of became a little bit more male-dominated. So it just seems like overall there's just more women than ever coming out, and to be a trio of women is really cool at this time, yeah.
Do you feel like country radio has embraced you guys, or has it been a fight to get your song up the charts?
Oh my gosh, I think country radio has been so supportive of us. We have, it feels like family out there, and for you guys that are watching, Caroline co-wrote our song with us, so it's for you too.
They let me join the girl gang for a second. I appreciate it. I feel honored to be a part.
But yeah, no, radio's been awesome and so supportive, and we've had a great time.
Yeah, we wouldn't have this song on the charts without radio. I mean, it's hard for everyone at times, but they've definitely embraced us. For sure.
So you guys have your single out, Lipstick, and I've noticed in your interviews that you're all about positivity, and it's very important that y'all don't male bash or bash. Tell me where that stems from and how y'all decided that y'all wanted to be a positive force, like in female empowerment.
Well, I think just as songwriters, we like to be inclusive and not like exclude anyone, and that's always been a goal for us as a band and as songwriters. We just want to write music that everyone can like and listen to and not feel like, oh, that's a girl's song or that's a guy's song. So so hopefully we're doing that. Yeah. But also just empowering positivity empowers everyone. So that's kind of like what we like to do.
Yeah. So are y'all part of the love revolution?
The love revolution?
I feel like it's happening now, especially like women are rising, like coming together and supporting other women. There was the Women's March, obviously. Like women are kind of like, it's happening for women, and it's so much love happening right now. Do y'all feel like y'all are in that?
We'll champion love all day. Yeah, for women, men, whatever. It's like we love everybody. We want to empower everybody just the same. But yeah.
We love love.
We love love.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Jen just got engaged.
Yes. He took me by surprise. I was not expecting it. He told me spring or summer, and it happened in December, so he got me.
The 1-2.
Who is he? And tell me about him and this love story and how he took you by surprise.
His name is William Michael Morgan, and he had his first #1 this year. It was called I Met a Girl, and we went home to California. And we went to Santa Barbara for a couple days to get away from my family so he didn't have to be with my family the whole time. And I just completely ruined it for him because I didn't know it was coming. So he's like, let's go to dinner. I'm like, no, let's just order room service. And I want to be with the dogs. And so he had this like bottle of Dom Perignon. He's like, let's open the champagne. I'm like, no, let's wait till New Year. So every single thing he was doing, I was just shutting down. So I finally went to dinner with him. And after dinner, he wanted to take a walk on the beach or sit on one of the benches, and I'm like, no, I really want to get back to the dogs, and so every single thing I shut down, and so we went back to the room, we were with the dogs, and he's like, will you at least step out on the patio with me? I was like, okay, why? And then he's like, so he was so nervous, and I thought, oh my gosh, I know what's happening. And so he asked me, and I'm like, you said spring or summer. And so he just was caught off guard again. He's like, yeah. He's like, will you marry me? I'm like, you didn't get down on one knee. So then he had to like get down on one knee and ask me again. So
I like out of a movie, just
yeah.
Like,
I put him through the ringer, but I said yes. So
poor guy. Too bad he didn't send Spike or Blue, your Chihuahua, in with a ring around the neck.
That would have been perfect for her.
I would have said absolutely, yes.
But he's a great guy, and I feel like that song's about you. I Met a Girl. He met a woman, Jennifer Wayne. So talk to me about this music video. Y'all have sexy Luke Pell from The Bachelorette in it, which I actually watched that whole season, and he was really smoking hot. So how did he join you guys?
Actually, he was a friend of ours, and Hannah had the idea of asking him to be in the video, and we were like, well, gosh, if he'd do it, that would be amazing. He's like such a hunk, and he said yes. And he was so cool and so nice. the director actually pulled Naomi over, and he's like, of all the guys you could have gotten to do this, he's the best choice. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun flirting with him all day.
Why were there no smooch scenes? Because all y'all are awesome.
Fight over him. There's 3 of us. Who would win? It would disrupt the band.
And the video is just kind of like a you know, we were just having a good time. We picked up somebody who was like, you know, drifter, and we just had a good time. And it wasn't really like he wasn't really a love interest per se, but
A lust interest.
yeah,
And then we
right,
send him on his way.
a little lust involved, and we sent him on his way.
So y'all are in the studio recording your debut album. Are y'all wrapping up?
We are wrapping up. Hopefully, we're still we never really wanted to put a rush on this record. We wanted to, like, you know, take our time. It's our first album, and we're really enjoying the process. So it's like, oh my gosh, we just love it so much. But I think we're starting to wrap it up. Yeah.
Talk to me about the sound, because you guys have a very unique sound as opposed to what's out there, especially on country music. Tell me about your sound and what you guys love. Just tell me about your sound.
I think our sound is pretty organic. That's kind of the theme that runs through. I think there's kind of a little bit of a retro country thing coming back, and so we like to have elements of that, and still pretty modern. Our producer is Mickey Jack Cones, and he's so great with us vocally and with harmonies, but also he has such just a great ear of things we would never think of while still keeping it organic. So we've kind of found a little happy medium of kind of rootsy and modern at the same time.
Tell me how the 3 of you guys blend together musically.
It's crazy because we kind of all just naturally sing in the areas that when we wrote a song, I kind of just started singing the high harmony, and Hannah grew up singing low harmony and choir, and Naomi has this beautiful lead voice, and so it just kind of all worked without it, you know, forcing. We didn't really force it. It just kind of happened.
So talk to me about the CMAs this year, because I was watching them on TV, and then all of a sudden there's these 3 bombshells shaking tambourines, and I looked closer and I was like, oh my God, that's Runaway June. First off, how did y'all link up with Carrie Underwood? What's she like? Did y'all have her number? And how was that performance?
It was, I mean, we couldn't talk about it because they were very, you know, it was very regimented, and they wanted it to be a surprise, and the whole girl band thing. And Carrie heard some of our music from a mutual friend, and, you know, it was early on. It was like when we were on radio tour or something. And when this came about, she was thinking about doing a full girl band. She reached out to our friend, and she was like, hey, you know, are those girls still kind of doing a thing? And I'd love to have them. And so we were like, you know, they know we're not. Like, well,
I mean, it felt like just as random as you felt sitting on your couch seeing us up there, like getting that call, we were like, how does she know who we are? How did she get this number? Like, what, is she sure? Yeah, it was so weird.
She is so kind and such a superstar, and like someone to really, you know, look after, because she just gets better and prettier and smarter, and just every single year. She is incredible, and she had so much going on that night, and she still found time to take pictures with us, and she gave us a little pep talk before the curtains lifted.
What'd she say?
It's great. She was like, you know, you girls I'm so proud to be with everybody and all these great musicians, and she's like, you guys let's just show these people, these powerful, beautiful, talented ladies. And then the music started, and it was just so great. She's amazing.
And you don't even know, because we got here before you, but she sent us all gifts for Christmas. Can you believe that? Yeah.
What did she send you guys for? What was the gift?
Yeah, from her line, I got like a scarf and a hat and workout pants and a top. It's all different. Yours is probably different, but how sweet is that?
Yeah, when Carrie Underwood is sending you Christmas presents, you're just, like, it's a different world now.
You know you have arrived when Carrie Underwood is sending you Christmas presents.
Holy crap. Where is it?
It's in Man's office.
How long have you had this?
We didn't want to tell you because we took your stuff.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity. Thank you, Carrie, so much. That's so nice. I can't wait to put it on.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah, and if you put on those workout clothes and you can have a body like hers, then I need some too, because she's smoking hot and has a kid.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she is quite the act to follow.
If that's all it takes, just put those clothes on. You look like Carrie Underwood. I'll give it a try.
It's magic. Yeah. Okay, we're going to wrap up soon, but I have to ask, how was touring with Willie Nelson? That was something you guys did. Y'all did like 3 or 4 shows. What was that like?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay. We all want to.
Everyone tell me what it was like, okay?
Well, we had 5 shows with him, so we were out with him for a week, and he is everything you would ever dream. He's 83 years old. He has no set list. He plays for 70 minutes. He sounds great. He just plays the guitar, and the whole crew, I mean, most of them have been with him for over, 30 plus years, and nothing really rattles them, and it was just the best thing. And he asked us to sing with him every night. And so
What did y'all sing?
Well, we did this little gospel medley with him, and it was just like so fulfilling and like more than a bucket list thing. It was incredible. We're really honored and lucky to have had that opportunity. It's like a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah. What are y'all looking forward to in 2017? Because 2016 was a pretty mega year for you guys. So what are y'all hoping for this year?
Yeah, how does that top what happened last year? I don't even,
More of the
maybe
same,
a number
yeah.
one song. I don't know anything that could
Yeah,
top last
yeah.
year.
We hope that our song goes number one
That would be
all
good.
together.
All four of us.
Yeah, and more of the same. I mean, we've had so many amazing opportunities that we could have never even expected in 2016. I mean, like Willie Nelson and just all the people that we got to play with. So I think we're hoping for more of that, just getting to play with more people, and hopefully the song keeps moving up and just keep having fun. We're having a blast.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to wrap up with leave your light. So leave some inspiration of how you've been inspired and how you would like to inspire other people. I'll start with you, Jen.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard to narrow it down to one thing. I would say for me, I've just had so much help. I've been in Nashville 11 years, and so many people have helped me and supported me, and so I kind of try to do that as much as I can to other people, and that would be kind of what I would call light, is all my little angels out there that have helped me.
I would say the kindness that we've been given. I mean, we think about some of the biggest names that we've met are the kindest people, and they're the most supportive. So I think that's a big lesson that we've been learning, is just the kinder you are and the more you want to help people, then the more people want to be on your team. So I think just being kind to everybody that you meet.
Yeah, I agree with them. We're lucky enough to be in a format where there's so much camaraderie, and so just seeing other up and coming artists or seeing how people treat us, we're so lucky, and we just really want to pass that on. The higher we get, you just reach around and you grab somebody else. So hopefully we'll have a chance to do that with people, or people will care enough for us to reach our hand. No, get that out of your way. Sorry.
We want Carrie.
I love it. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. Everyone, make sure you download Lipstick on iTunes and be looking for Runaway June.
Thank you so much for having us. This is fun.
Who's first?
I'll start. Let's talk about the single, how it came together when you guys wrote it.
It was a dark and dreary day.
It's another typical day in Nashville.
Yeah, it was years ago. Man, how long ago was
I think
it?
it's about 4 years.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
It's just kind of a typical writing day with, we all just get together, and at that time we wrote with Sam a lot, Sam Hunt, and not necessarily at that point for any specific project or if he was going to be an artist. Well, we kind of didn't know. We were just writing, and we were writing at that time a lot. Trevor wasn't as busy as he is now, and Sam.
Nor was Sam.
Yeah, so.
Nor was Shane.
So it was just one of those days where I don't really remember exactly how it all came together. I would be surprised if any of us came in and said, let's write a song called I Met a Girl. It doesn't sound like something we would have started with. But the chorus and the flow and, the way that's laid out feels very much like something we would start with, and then probably would have written to something that just, when you have that many colors and that many sort of pieces, it's kind of nice to just land on something simple like I Met a Girl, because that's what the whole thing, it really gives you room to color up the verses with the tilt-a-whirl and, the blue jean pearls and things like that. And those rhyme with
And
girl.
that's something that I fell in love with the song. Obviously, I wasn't a writer on it, but that was one of the things that I fell in love with, was the pictures that you guys put in there, like the crossing the street, her baby blues, fixing her dress, biting her lip, and that's what really kind of caught my attention as far as wanting to cut the song and put the song out as a single. Really is really why I fell in love with it, honestly.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Well, I am too.
Very much.
So how different was the demo from what we know your version to be?
Well, it was actually on Sam Hunt's mixtape. His acoustic mixtape is the version that I heard, and Universal played it for me, and I just fell in love with it. As cliche as that sounds, it's really the only thing that I can say, because it's so true. I just fell in love with it. One of those songs I couldn't stop listening to. We went in the studio, my producers Scott Hendricks and Jimmy Ritchie. Jimmy's here right now, I think, somewhere, but out there, yeah. Scott hasn't quite made it yet, but you know, we went in and put our own little spin on it, you know, as with any other artist, cutting another artist and songwriter, in this case, song. And, you know, I was so pleased with the outcome. And I think it was just one of those songs that, of the whole session, it was just one that we couldn't stop listening to, and one that really just kind of pried at us and said, you know, listen to me again, and we did. And I think it was kind of unanimous as far as putting it out as the first single.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add to that too, that I remember when Scott Hendricks and Chris Lacey brought us in, they said, we cut the song on this new artist, you know, you never heard of them, but we're really proud of it. When I heard it, I thought it was a lot different than the demo, and it was very country, but it was beautiful, it was amazing, and at the time, it was this real sort of movement at country radio where they weren't really playing songs like that. So I kind of thought to myself, I don't know if this will ever get played, but it really sounds cool and amazing, and it was pretty different than the demo. But, you know, I think when a song is a good song, you know, it can be cut in different ways, and at the heart of it, it's either good or it's not. So I think it's really cool that it was a cool song the way Sam did it, and it was also a great song the way Willie Michael did it.
It's just a great song in general. That's a great way to put it, yeah.
The way you said that it kept pulling on you guys, like you kept hearing it, I think that's ultimately what the song did at radio.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a long time because you were new, because it was so different for the genre, you know, where we were
Got
at.
an old cowboy hat on.
I mean, God forbid somebody wear a cowboy hat in country music. But the truth is, it was one of those songs, I think, that as people, until it was like top 15.
Until it reached about 20,
then
15,
people were just like, everywhere I went, people were just talking about it, asking about it. It had just kind of snuck in there and like really did sort of demand.
Well, we had those people that believed in us. You know, we had our promo team. There's everybody over at the label over at Warner Brothers, Warner Music Nashville, from Esposito to Kristen Williams, Katie Bryant. I mean, and the whole promotion staff. They believed in us, and they never gave up, and they never stopped fighting for the song that they thought could be a quote unquote hit. And God bless them for it. I'm glad they stuck it out. You know.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Number one.
Thank you.
William Michael, this is your first number one. Can you talk about that feeling of having that on your belt, and where were you when you found out that it was at the top?
Well, I was actually, we couldn't have timed it any better, and we didn't actually. It was just God kind of taking those chess pieces and moving them in the right place there. And I was actually, my album had come out the same day that I'd found out. My album Vinyl had come out, and it was unreal. I mean, I was in my hometown of Vicksburg, Mississippi, doing an autograph signing at the Walmart there. I say the Walmart. I'm from Mississippi. I'm an old country boy. So we was at the Walmart, and we was signing some autographs and kissing some babies and mamas too, even. And and I found out, you know, we'd been watching it all day. You know, Billy Currington was kind of neck and neck with us there for a little while, and you know, we was watching it. Oh, Billy's up. Oh, we're up. Oh, Billy's up. You know, and that'll just drive you crazy. I don't recommend watching the charts right at the end there. But long story short, I said that I knew that I had to be back in Nashville for an early flight to New York City the next day to do media stuff for the new album that had just dropped. And so we stopped about halfway in a town called Tunica, Mississippi, which, if anybody knows Tunica, it's a country boy's dream. Casinos and drinks and everything in between. So we stopped up there and just kind of watched it up until I think it was like 2 o'clock Central Time or something like that is when we actually found out. And I mean, just we're biting teeth, and I think I had my manager's biting my teeth, I'm biting his. I mean, it was crazy, but
He was biting your teeth?
Well, he was biting my teeth, yeah. It's biting my nails, yeah. So, weird manager.
Story.
But you were in Tunica.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that story. It was a long night.
Well, I would say congratulations on your engagement.
Oh, thank you.
I was curious, does the song hold more meaning to you now, or like any lyrics now that you are engaged?
Well, now that I have now that I am engaged and I have my little girl, I think the song does have a whole new meaning. When I cut it, I was just cutting a song. I was cutting a great song that I fell in love with. And now, of course it takes on a different meaning. From the birth of my little girl, which happened first, to meeting my beautiful fiance, to getting engaged. And I think all that plays a part and makes me sing a little differently now and think about the song a little differently now.
Gail, I'm curious, for Shane and Trevor, I want to know what it feels like to hear this song or some of your other hits on the radio. As a songwriter, what does that feel like for you guys?
Same old every day.
Just get in the car and go to work,
Write
baby.
that down.
Please don't.
It never gets old.
It definitely never gets old, and I have to say this particular one, it just, in the first day that Scott played it for us, it really does have, I mean, you can't say why. It's like choosing your favorite kids. You can't say what it is about a song that, I mean, meaning you couldn't choose a favorite among your kids. But this song does have like a really special place. I can't really say why. Maybe it's the trajectory and how unexpected it was, and how it was something that we wrote with an artist who ended up taking a completely different path, and how we believed in the song regardless of if it looked like it was just going to end up on a mixtape, or if someone had the foresight to know that it could be made into a classic. And that is what this team saw. And so every time I hear it on the radio, I do feel especially grateful for this one, because it was on a new artist. It was a song that had been around, and they had to see it in a different way. And the production and his voice, I mean, truly, it is a new classic. It is something that I can't tell if it was recorded 30 years ago or 30 years from now or today. It has the most timeless sound, and that is the way that you sing, and it is the, just the choices that were made in the production. I love when this song comes on, and it luckily it gets a lot of recurrent play, so I get to hear it a lot. Never would I never don't let it play and don't sit there until the end of it, because I'm just,
Do you turn your other songs off?
For it? No, but, I mean, what does that mean to you? I mean, it's probably different for Trevor too, because he's also on the radio, and it must be interesting.
No, I mean, it's like you said, it's really special because it was kind of the song that I never expected to do much, and at every step of the way, it was like, oh, we got a top 40. That's cool, and then I heard it on the radio a couple times, and then went, well, it had a good run. It got to, it's close to 30, and then it was in the 20s, and then you go, well, there's no way, and it looks like it's going to be dead, and you go, oh my God, we might actually have a top 20 song on this, and then so just the uphill battle that it took, and all the belief in the label.
Not because it's not great, but because we've been doing this as songwriters before Trevor had an artist career. We were doing this for so long with so many near misses and so many things where a new artist records a song and you just hope for the best. And looking at the chart run of this song, I mean, it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and because it does have to be more than the song and more than the artist and more than the way it sounds these days. You have to have people out there fighting every step of the way, and even till the very end, like he said, not knowing that night if it was going to go number one. Mm-hmm. So it's just especially special when you hear it and know the road that it was on.
And it's one of my favorite songs that I've been a part of writing too. So the fact that it was given a chance, it's like, you want to see it do as well as it can. It's one of your babies, and unlike Shane says, you can pick a favorite. Some of your babies you like better than the other babies. So I like this baby better. So I really wanted to see it succeed. So it was pretty special to see it go.
Can you talk about your new single "Missing" and what it means? Andrew Dorff obviously passed away. Can you talk about that, like having him as a songwriter on that song?
Well, the passing of Andrew Dorff, I never really knew him well. Everyone around me knew him, and I wish I would have had the chance to actually sit down and not only write, but just sit down and get to talk to him and just feel him out for a minute and just see who he was as a person. Now, as far as Missing goes, I don't think he was a writer on that.
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
That was a misprint. I've seen that a lot of places.
Yes, ma'am. But, again, my fiance even is over there, and she knew Andrew not very well, but a little, you know, and she told me a couple stories of him, and I wish I could have met him. But to talk about missing, I think it's just one of those songs again that just kind of caught my attention the first time I heard it, and its message is more of, at least how I take it, is how this old world will beat you down, and just life in general, your job, your babies, your kids, whichever one's your favorite, they'll beat you down, you know, and it's all about just getting lost for a little bit, and just whether missing means going out on the ocean somewhere and fishing, or sitting in the stand somewhere in the woods, or just turning off your phone and watching a little TV, you know, everything but the news. And I think, yeah, everything but the news. At least watch Fox if you're going to watch the news. But don't quote me on that. But but I think everybody needs to get missing, you know, just clear their head off, rejuvenate for a little while, and that's kind of why I kind of gravitated towards this song. So, thank you.
Some artists, when they get their first #1 song, they jump out of airplanes or get tattooed.
With a parachute.
Do not jump out of an airplane.
Yeah, I didn't.
Are you going to do anything unusual to celebrate, or have you?
Oh, you know, we drank to celebrate. I mean, yeah, you know, I don't think I'm going to be jumping out no airplanes no time soon. But, hell, I'd like to maybe look out the door of it. You know, while everybody else's job, I'll give you one of these. Good game, son. Got you out there, you know, I'll push you out, but I don't think I'll be the one jumping.
Valentine's Day is coming up, and I know that she's in the room, so like don't be super specific, but do you have anything like great planned?
Well, we're going to do it probably something like the day or two before Valentine's Day. I don't have anything planned at all. Nothing.
They're going to jump out of a plane.
Yeah, we're going to jump out of a plane together, baby. You ready?
Trevor, I'm curious if you can just give us kind of a road report from the first weekend of the Miranda tour, and maybe an update on the sophomore Old Dominion record.
Well, the tour, we just started it last weekend, and it's been everything that we expected. It's been a lot of fun, and she's amazing, and we've gotten to have a couple drinks next to Wanda and get to know her a little better. So everything about that is going well. As far as the new music, we're going in with Shane again next week to cut some more stuff, but I think we've got about 7 done, and it's shaping up pretty good. I'm actually really excited about it. So starting to get some new mixes done and everything, and probably have another single here coming up pretty soon. So there's a lot of mystery around it, so I can't say any more than that.
Do you have a date set for the wedding yet? Can you share any details, or if you're doing any planning or anything like that?
We don't have a date set. I mean, it'd probably be sometime. I mean, it'd be a destination wedding, at least what we're looking at the moment. But you know, she's doing her thing with Runaway June. I'm doing my thing. You know, we're just trying to focus at what's at hand right now. Of course, we talk about it. You know, of course, we sit on the couch and look up and dream like every other couple. But you know, it's just a matter of time.
Can I ask you where you two met, and if there was like an immediate spark there between you two?
For me, she didn't want nothing to do with this old young boy. I met her at a place called Lake Shake in Chicago, a festival. And it just real quick just said, hey, and they scooted off on their cart, whatever they were on. And like maybe a week or two later, we met, I think, in North Carolina or South Carolina. And we actually had a little time to spend together. And I said, this is where I'm doing it, boys. I'm getting on in. I snuck on in. And we ended up hanging out at the hotel afterwards with her and her other bandmates, Hannah and Naomi, and drinking some wine, which I don't like wine, but I sucked it up. Eating tofu, which I'm not the tofu guy. I sucked it up. I don't know more because we're together. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of one of those things. Afterwards, I was like, hey, you know, what are you doing? Would you like to maybe go I was playing the Opry. It was one of the first times I was back in town. We were back in town together, and I was playing the Opry. It was like the 4th of July or the day after the 4th of July. And I said, "Do you want to go with me?" And she said, "Yeah, sure. Can I bring a friend?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, you know." And so she ended up coming with her friends, and of course, being the redneck that I am, we went to the Crystal Palace afterwards, or the Nashville Palace afterwards. That would have been a long flight. We went to the Nashville Palace afterwards and had a couple shots, and I said, "You want to dance?" And she said, "No." She said, "I don't dance." I said, "No, you're gonna dance." I got her out there, and we started swinging, baby. We getting down with it. I don't mean to embarrass you, baby.
You were swinging.
I was probably swaying a little more than you.
Yeah, so how has the success of a song like this kind of affected you as a writer yourself? You know, they get to be kind of put on different hats and different songwriters, but you know, people are expecting a certain thing from you now. How has it kind of affected your ability as a songwriter?
Well, it's definitely opened my eyes as far as pictures go. You know, like I had said, you know, painting pictures in my songs. You know, that's one thing I've kind of started doing a little more, at least paying a little more attention to. But it's all a growing experience, and you know, I'm not the best songwriter in Nashville or in the world, in anywhere. You know, from Mississippi, I'm not the best songwriter at all, and I don't claim to be, and I know that, and I just want to pick the best songs that I can possibly pick. You know, I think George Strait had a very great template, a very great blueprint that he went by as far as picking songs. You know, he's the king for a reason. And so I want to kind of follow that. You know, I don't care if I write this, I don't care if I write that. Of course, I'd love to have a big old number one myself. But, you know, I look at the longevity of it, and I look at, you know, just my career as a whole instead of just being a songwriter or being a singer or being this or that. I just want to better myself as a whole. But to answer your question, yes, it has definitely opened up my mind, you know, to paint those pictures and getting to the point, and which I need to do with this answer. So
I would like to say that as far as I think interpreting a song like this and being able to make it sound like you did write it is every bit a gift of being a songwriter or a songwriter on the song. You know, I love that you referenced George Strait. You talk about Tim McGraw. You talk about Conway and the great interpreters in the history of country music. I mean, you're right up there with them. I mean, I would never know from the phrasing and the way that you sing this thing that you didn't write it. And ultimately, it comes from a real place. And that really is what this genre was built on. And not so concerned about who is actually sitting in the room with pen and paper, but who is telling the story and how you hear it. And you know, that's just a great gift, and open-minded, because I do think we're in a town, in a place now where people do think they have to write every song. And you know, these guys are on the road and they're working all the time, and they're doing a million other things besides just writing songs. And so being able to recognize that there are people in those rooms every day that is all they focus on, and being able to go and find songs among those. I'm you know, so glad that people still do, because you know, I get to have a job because of it. So.
Well, I get to have a job because of you, so.
That's right.
Shane, can you talk about songwriting? You have like such a diverse group of songs that you've written. Can you talk about like where you get your inspiration from and how you're able to kind of mold based on who you're writing with and what artists it's going to be?
It's mostly just comes from you know, either collaborating with someone who is going through something very real, or something that I'm going through. Even if something that seems somewhat like I Met a Girl, those are real images that he keeps talking about. Those are real things that happen to us. The three of us in the room, we're trying to go back to moments. My little girl thinks that I Met a Girl is about her. It was actually written before she was born, but I do love that it can live in that world, because now I kind of can't remember that it's not about her. And so every song, you know, Trevor and I were writing today, and you might have a cool hook, you might have a cool idea, but to me, the only way to make it resonate, and the thread, hopefully, among the songs I'm a part of, regardless of if they seem completely different, is that they came from somewhere real, that you can put yourself like an actor or something and put yourself in that place of, when was I in a situation where I felt this way? You know, there's this great thing about I Met a Girl where the singer seems almost nervous, you know, the girl's making him nervous. And the truth is, when couldn't we look back and think about when we met someone that we had that feeling of like every detail did something to you, you know? And so, you know, I hope that's where I write from.
We got time for a couple more. Is anybody that has a definite?
You're going to be a part of the Randy Travis tribute coming up?
Yes, sir.
Just talk about being a part of that event and what it means to you and what Randy Travis means to you as an artist.
Well, I think Randy Travis, along with Ricky Skaggs and a handful of other people, there was a time when country music was not so country anymore. And Randy Travis and Ricky Skaggs and, again, just a handful of people kind of turned that around. And I think you can't mention Randy Travis without thinking of one of the godfathers of country music. I mean, I know there was the Whalens and the Willies and the Joneses and the Hags, but I definitely look at Randy Travis as one of the godfathers for sure, one of the people who molded a certain sound there in, I guess, mid-'80s, late 80s, and which brought the Tracy Byrds and the Tracy Lawrences and the Mark Chestnuts of the 90s. And I think that I was looking at the list of the songs and I was thinking, oh man, all the big artists, they're going to get Promises and they're going to get, On the Other Hand, and I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going to have to learn this song that I don't know, and I'm thinking, but I'm looking at these songs and you forget how great of a catalog he had, and you're like, well, none of this is going to be horrible. This is going to be perfect. This guy's going to be perfect. I mean, there's no horrible songs. There's just only great songs in his catalog, and for me to be able to be a part of that, I think is a huge blessing, because not only has he been everyone's hero of country music, I think he's definitely one of my biggest heroes and one of my biggest influences as far as music goes.
Talk a little bit about the American Made tour you're out on.
Oh, well, it started a couple weeks ago, actually. I think, 3 weeks ago, I believe. We're going back out for this will be tying up a month, our first month. I think we're leaving Wednesday night. I don't have my schedule in front of me. I don't know where we're going, but it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun watching those guys, Lee and Justin both, as far as their live shows go, how they treat the fans after or before the shows, and just how they carry themselves on and off stage. I think that Justin and Lee's crew are both some of the most top-notch people out on the road right now. I think that they go out of their way more than most and more than necessary even to make sure that we're taken care of and that we're happy, and of course vice versa. We all, we're becoming a big family out there, and I'm trying to get my drinking game up so I can stay up there with Lee, and I'm trying to work on my cowboy hat game for Justin. So.
Any other plans for 17?
Yeah, man. We're constantly brainstorming, and of course, with our album coming out, I'm starting to now get ready to start writing. I actually just went on a writer's retreat over the last week or so. So I'm writing again. I'm getting ready to start gearing up to demo some more stuff and just get ready to be in the mind frame of maybe not necessarily cutting a new album quite yet, but getting the mind frame, because when we did vinyl, we had 4 years. To work on that, as far as being with a major label, we had 4 years to work on that. So time will sneak up on you. It'll get away from you real quick. So we're working on that as much as we can. And of course, we've just got, along with Trevor and them with Old Dominion. I mean, it's like we've got every fair and festival of the summer, and we'll probably end up running into each other like we did a couple times last year. And it's looking really good, It's looking really good. I think the American Made tour ends in March or April, end of March, early April. So I'm just looking forward to learning as much more as I can from those guys.
I was curious just about co-writing. I know Shane and Trevor, you guys write a lot together and co-writing as well. Like, what makes for a good co-write? Why do you keep getting back in the room together?
I think it's just like, it's like dating. It's like anything else. It's a chemistry. I mean, some people, just turn you on musically or whatever. So for whatever reason, when you find that magical combination, you just keep coming back to the well. So, there's a comfortability. To me, like, I think in trying to do anything creative, and collaborate with people, you have to feel comfortable to just, to be an idiot, to say the dumbest line, to say the dumbest idea, and you have to feel comfortable with that person to sort of bare your soul and not be afraid to say things that are dumb. So you find people like Shane. I mean, from the moment I met Shane, he's always been somebody who does that, and he'll say anything, and he makes you feel comfortable to say anything. So I think it's just the chemistry thing and just feeling really comfortable to run down any idea, no matter how dumb it might be. And you might waste an hour and go, this isn't good, let's try something else. And it's just the freedom and the comfortability and the courage to sort of just explore together. For me, that's the most important thing.
Thank you guys so much.
William Michael Morgan.
Hey there, baby.
Well, I love your fiance.
Oh, I know. I love her too.
I've lived a lot of life with her. We've traveled the world together.
You've been there and you've done that.
We have decade of friendship. And so I'm so excited to meet the guy who stole her heart.
Oh, thank you.
Was it the most nerve-wracking day of your life when you proposed?
Oh, of course, especially because she kept kind of throwing up roadblocks every night. And you know
like
the
what?
story. I know you know the story.
What were some roadblocks?
I'll tell everybody else. We got there. We were visiting her family out in Malibu for Christmas. And we went to Santa Barbara for a couple of days. And we'd got a bottle of Dom Perignon and a bottle of CMAS wine. And I was thinking, okay, this is going to be perfect. God set it up for me. I don't have to work too much. It's just going to be perfect. We'll go to dinner. We'll open up the bottles. We'll have a good night. We get there. I say, let's go to dinner. She says, oh, let's just stay in and order room service. I say, well, okay, let's just have some bottles. Just drink a couple glasses. And she says, oh, we'll just wait for another time. And I'm thinking, if you just, just let me do this. Let me do this. Yeah, exactly. So long story short, I just finally gave up and I said, look, will you marry me?
Oh, I love it.
And so, and of course she couldn't say yes. She said, well, I didn't know you were going to do this and I didn't know this. But long story short, she said yes, and I'm so thankful. And
I think you guys are going to be the perfect couple and a life of happiness.
I hope so.
Tell me how it feels to be the traditional country artist in country music right now. You're the only guy wearing a cowboy hat, really. You've got the voice of the classics. And you have people like Jason Aldean saying that you could be the guy to fill that spot as the classic, iconic voice. How does that feel to have people, your peers that you've looked up to, feeling that way about you?
It's a lot of weight on my shoulders.
It is?
A lot of weight.
Does it feel heavy?
It does, but I can push through it, I think. I'm excited about it, for them to be saying that. There's been a couple of people say stuff like that, Jason being one of them. And for them to say that, it's very heartwarming because he doesn't know me from Adam, he doesn't know me at all. And for him to just go out of his way and say something about some, new kid on the block, that means the world to me. And of course, everybody that's come out and said something, it's just so nice of them to say that stuff. And we're looking forward to getting out there and rocking it out and not letting them down.
Did you always know you wanted to be a country singer? Because you're still super young. So
I
to
did.
have a #1 song and a career that's taking off at such a young age, did you always know this was your destiny?
I always hoped it was. I always dreamed it was. I always believed it was. But until it actually happens, you never know. I know that I could either do this or I could throw a roof on. That's about it.
You're versatile.
My first, yeah.
Okay, I want to wrap up. Leave your light. Give me some inspiration. A way that you've been inspired or how you like to inspire people.
Well, I think the best way to inspire people is the almighty good Lord himself, whether you look or go to him or you present him to other people, I think that if you let him lead, he'll lead you in the right direction. He's not going to let you down. And that's I think, 99% of our success has come from the good Lord.
So God's running your show.
Oh, for sure.
I love that.
For sure.
God
He's the headliner, baby.
He's the headliner. Okay. I love it. Thank you so much,
Thank
William
you so
Michael
much.
Morgan.